Okay, so we're going to review today complementary, supplementary, and vertical angles. All right, so in this case, we're seeing that we're going to find the missing angle of each measure. So taking a look, let me kind of back that up a little bit. There we go. Take a look at the first one. So we know, oh my gosh. So we know this entire angle is how many degrees, and how do we know? Who's got an idea? What does that little this square right here represent? Yeah, it's a right angle. And right angles are how many degrees? 90. All right, so that means that in order to get this angle right here, I'm going to take 90 minus 26, which gives me a total of 64 degrees. If I need to double check this, I would add 64 and 26 to get this right angle again. So this is an example of something that is complementary. If we look at the second example, we see that it lands on a line. When it lands on a line, that means how many degrees is a line? Who can tell me that? Go ahead. 180. So we have a total of 180. So in order to find this angle, I'm going to take 180 and minus 21 from that, leaving me with a total of 159 degrees. So this is an example of two angles that are supplementary. These could also be known as a linear pair. All right, let's take a look at this example. So we have 43 degrees, and one thing, this is an example of vertical angles. Now, vertical angles means that if you have two lines, two segments, two whatever intersecting, the opposite angles end up being congruent. So this is congruent with this, and this is congruent with this. So this is telling me that if that's 43, this angle is also 43 degrees. And then we can find C and B by looking at this as if it's a linear pair, just like we did kind of over here. So if we look at just this and this, we can take 180, subtract 43 from it. And that gives us a total of 137 degrees. So if this is 137 degrees, angle B also has to be what? 137 degrees, yep. Questions on that? All right, now we're going to add some algebra into this, right, Luis? Yeah. All right, why don't you sit up? All right, how would we set up an equation to help us find the value of E for this? So first off, we know if we add these two angles together, they're equal to how many degrees? Good. 180. So what we're going to do is we're going to add this and set it equal to 180. Oops. So this is going to look like we're going to have 9E minus 8 plus 4E plus 6 equals 180. Okay, from here, this is just algebra. We're going to combine our like terms. 9 plus 4 gives me 13. It'll be 13E. I'll combine these two. That'll be minus 2. I'm going to add the 2 to each side. That leaves me with 13e equals 182. And then I'm going to divide by 13. So E in this case ends up being what? Yeah, 14. Now I'm going to take this 14 because sometimes you do need to do this. And I'm going to substitute in to find each angle. All right, so this is going to be 9 times 14 minus 8. And this will be 4 times 14 plus 6. Who can tell me what does each angle measure? Yep. 118 and what'd you say? 62. Good job. So that's how you solve for the angles. That's how you solve for the variable. Okay. And you have to kind of determine what you're given in order to find out what you're doing. If this was 2 complementary angles, we'd set it equal to 90. If they were vertical angles, we might have to do this process also because those land on a line. All right. Any questions so far? All right, so a summary on how to find missing angles. So I'm just going to write some diagrams down here. So, okay. So vertical angles look something like this. And that means this will be congruent with this, and this will be congruent with that. Complementary angles could look something like this. If I have like A, then B, then C, and I have this ray right here, which is D, I could state that these are both a right angle, and I could have 20 degrees here and 70 degrees here. So as long as they add up to 90, this is just a slight example. These could, as long as they add up to 90, they're good. So must add up to 90. Now for the supplementary angles or the linear pair, it could look something like this. Obviously not perfect, okay? But here, if I have A, again, here's my B, here's my C, and I labeled this D, I could have something like this being 110 degrees and this being 70 degrees. Again, it doesn't matter the degree measure. The issue is that it must add to 180 degrees. Questions on that? All right, let's take a look at this next example. So we have solve for P. 5P plus 7, and then we have 3P minus 5, and we have this little square here. So these two have to add up to what? Who can tell me? Yep, 90 degrees. So if they're adding up to 90 degrees, I'm going to set this up as 5P plus 7 plus 3P minus 5 equals 90 degrees. Put down, please. Thank you. All right, so I'm going to solve. We have 5P, 3P, which leaves me with 8P. We have 7 minus 5, which leaves me with positive 2. I will subtract the 2 from each side. That leaves me with 8P equals 88. And then divide by 8. So I'm getting P is equal to 11. Now they are not asking us to solve for each individual angle. They just ask, hey, what's the variable P? So we're done. Okay. All right, now these are an example of vertical angles. What do we know about vertical angles? The opposite angles end up being what? Yep, congruent. So since they're congruent, we can set these equal to each other. So here I'm going to have 8z minus 3 equals 7z plus 7. Now, again, you can kind of take whichever approach you want. I'm going to subtract the 7z from both sides because I just like my variables to be positive. So this leaves me with z minus 3 equals 7. I'm going to add 3 to both sides, leaving me with z equals 10. Again, they were not asking for the individual angles, so we're good. We're done. Any questions on example 1 or 2 before we move on to the backside? All right, let's move on. All right, example 3. Angle 1 and angle 2 are complementary angles if the measure of angle 1 equals 5x plus 25, bless you, and the measure of angle 2 equals 6x minus 1, then find the measure of angle 1. All right, so in this case, best idea is to draw a picture. Now, they're not giving us letters to work with, but they are telling us it's a right angle because it's complementary. And we are going to have this ray coming off. So here's angle 1. And let's just say this is angle 2. It does not have to be an exact drawing. It just needs to be some sort of representation to help us solve. So they're saying the measure of angle 1 is 5x plus 25. And the measure of angle 2 is 6x minus 1. Any questions on where this is coming from? How are we doing so far, okay? All right. So what do I know about these two angles and what are we going to do with them? So if they're complementary, the total has to be what? Total has to be equal to how many degrees? Good. 90. So that means I'm going to add these up and set them equal to 90 degrees. So I'm going to have 5x plus 25 plus 6x minus 1 equals 90 degrees. Okay? From here, I combine my like terms. I have a 5x and a 6x, giving me 11x. I have a 25 minus a 1, leaving me with 24. All right, from here, I'm going to subtract 24 from each side. This leaves me with 11x equals, what I got here? That's 66. That's right. And then divide by 11. So I get x is equal to 6. Now, we solve for x, but is that what the final answer is? What do you guys think? Who says, yep, that's it, I'm done, moving on? Who says, nope, we got to do something else? A few people. Okay, good. Yeah, we have to do something else. They're asking us for the measure of angle 1. We have to find the measure of angle 1. And they told us it's this right here. So the measure of angle 1 is going to equal 5 times 6 plus 25. This leaves us with 30 plus 25, which gives us a total of 55 degrees. So there's your final answer. Questions that I can address? Going once, going twice? No? Okay. I want you guys to try these U-triads real quick. All right, we'll go over them in a few minutes. I'm sorry? Oh, snap, that's right. I forgot about that. I printed those and then I adjusted. Here's the sorry guys. It's 7R minus 8 for that bottom. Sorry about that. There you go. That better? Is that the one? And remember, it's right in there, so it's talking vertical angles right there. I did. It's right there. Yeah, I know it's cut off. It's right up there. It's 7R minus 8 for that bottom part.
Try and do homework, but I couldn't.
Yeah.
It was so much work. It was not like NCT.
Yes.
The real one?
Yes, good job. Yeah, uh-huh. Let's go. Come on. Okay, so that's a 2. Now that means you're going to have to add the 8 to the other side. Assign me 0 if you're adding that. Remember, if it was, you got to do it to the other side. So if you're adding it, it's equal to. There you go. And then you solve from there. Yep. Yep. Yeah, good job. Any questions on your guys? Oh, yeah.
There's nothing in the bathroom.
Huh?
In the bathroom.
Sure. Sign it out. Another minute, and we'll talk about them. Yeah, don't forget number 2. Broden. Okay, I want to make sure you guys have time for your homework, so I want to go over these too, okay? Taking a look at number 1. Again, here's what I got, and then you just let me know what you need from me, okay? The setup is going to be 5R plus 8 equals 7R minus 8. So from here, you can subtract the 5R from each side. That leaves you with 8 equals 2R minus 8, and then add the 8, which leaves you with 2R equals 16 essentially, and then you divide by 2, so you get R is equal to 8. Any questions on that? And all they requested was R, so you did not need to find the individual angles. All right, let's take a look at this next one. So this one says angle 1 and angle 2 are supplementary angles. If the measure of angle 1 is 3x minus 28 and the measure of angle 2 is equal to x minus 4, then find the measure of angle 1. So if I drew this, it's going to look, again, it doesn't have to be accurate, just needs to be a picture. So let's say this is angle 1 and that's angle 2. That makes angle 1 3x minus 28 and this one x minus 4. Now, adding these two together, they have to equal what? How many degrees? 180. Very good. So this is going to be 3x minus 28 plus x minus 4 equals 180 degrees. This one will require us to combine like terms. So this leaves me with 4x minus 28 minus 4 equals, 180. I would combine these two together, leaving us with 4x minus 32 equals 180. I will add the 32 to each side. That leaves me with 4x equals 212. And then I'll divide both by 4. Bless you. So then x ends up equaling 53. But am I done? No. What do I got to do next? Yeah, you got to solve for angle 1. So we got to substitute that in. So if we're going to solve for angle 1, so the measure of angle 1 equals, in this case, 3 times 53 minus 28. That leaves me with 159 minus 28, which gives us a total measure of 131 degrees. Okay? Questions on this? Anything? Okay, homework is on Delta Math, and you still have that Google form to complete if you didn't complete that yet, okay? So get going. You have plenty of time to get started. Those of you watching at home, have a great day.